Good evening. Tonight we travel back nearly 2 centuries to a quiet estate overlooking the Hudson River where wealth, reputation, and secrecy converged in one of early America's most controversial murder cases. This is the story of Cherry Hill. On the night of May 7, 1827, a single gunshot ended the life of John Whipple, a respected Albany businessman, and ignited a scandal that would divide a city, expose the power of social class, and leave unanswered questions that still linger today. This is not simply a story of murder. It is a story of who was punished and who walked free. Cherry Hill was no ordinary home. The estate belonged to the Van Rensselaer family, one of the most powerful and influential dynasties in New York State. Their wealth came from vast land holdings, political alliances, and generational authority stretching back to the Dutch colonial era. To live at Cherry Hill was to live under protection and social, political, and legal. John Whipple married into this world when he wed Elsie Whipple, a woman raised among privilege and expectation. By outward appearances, the couple lived comfortably, but behind the walls of Cherry Hill, tension brewed. Neighbors would later describe the household as strained, quiet, and increasingly troubled. On the evening of May 7, 1827, John Whipple sat alone at his desk. The house was quiet. The hour was late. Then, without warning, a gunshot shattered the silence. The bullet entered through a window and struck Whipple, killing him almost instantly. There was no struggle, no warning, only death. At first, authorities believed the killing to be the work of an unknown intruder, say, perhaps a robbery gone wrong. But the evidence told a different story. Investigators noted something unusual. Nothing had been stolen. No forced entry was found, and the shooter had known exactly where Whipple would be sitting. Attention soon turned inward, toward those closest to the victim. Rumors began circulating of an illicit affair between Whipple's wife, Elsie, and a man recently employed at Cherry Hill. His name was Jesse Strang. Jesse Strang was a drifter, a handyman, a man with no family influence, no social standing, and no protection. He had been hired to perform odd jobs around the estate, and according to witnesses, he had grown unusually close to Elsie Whipple. Investigators uncovered letters, meetings, and whispers of a plan. Strang was arrested and interrogated. Under mounting pressure, the truth began to surface. Jesse Strang had fired the fatal shot. But he did not act alone. Though Strang admitted to pulling the trigger, many believed the murder had been instigated, planned by Elsie Whipple herself. The theory was simple. She wanted her husband dead. Strang was merely the instrument. Yet Elsie Whipple denied all involvement. And unlike Strang, she possessed something far more powerful than innocence. She possessed family. Jesse Strang's trial was swift. The evidence was overwhelming. He was found guilty and sentenced to death. On August 24, 1827, he was publicly hanged in Albany, the last public execution the city would ever witness. Elsie Whipple's trial was different. Despite the rumors, despite the letters, despite public suspicion, she was acquitted. The verdict shocked Albany. Crowds protested, pamphlets circulated, and the question spread through taverns and newspapers alike. Was this justice or protection? Many believed the verdict revealed a painful truth. That justice in early America was not blind, that wealth could shield, that class could decide fate. Jesse Strang, poor and powerless, was executed. Elsie Whipple, wealthy and well-connected, returned to society. The Cherry Hill estate remained standing. But its reputation never recovered. Today, Cherry Hill still stands. Visitors walk its halls, they study its furniture, they admire its history. But the question remains, quietly echoing through its rooms. Did the courts punish the right person? Or did they simply punish the easiest one? History recorded the verdict. But it never settled the truth, and perhaps it never will. Good night.